Hey guys, welcome to another Pro Guides Arena video guide, and today we're going to be focusing on what exactly you want to choose when you are drafting an arena run. Usually in Arena, there are some really bad cards, but for the purposes of this video, we are going to make some very hard choices. We actually have 10 sets of cards, and once you see each set of cards, you can choose what you would pick personally, and then you can see what I would pick, and then we can exchange some analysis, and I'll tell you, what's good and what's not and what's fine, and it's gonna be a good time. This video is made with my friends over at Pro Guides, who just opened a new section on Hearthstone strategy guides and video content. If you like cool videos like these, you should definitely check them out. Why not also sign up for the free trial while you're there? The first set of 5 cards we're gonna look at in the arena runs are the first few picks of an arena draft, right? You're not gonna know what your deck is gonna look like, but you're gonna be offered a lot of cards that are gonna make up your core backbone of the deck. So let's start with the first one. It is Mage, so we're playing Mage, and we already have a rare selected. The picks are Cold Wraith, Cobalt Scalebane, and Frostbolt. Now, these are all very good cards. When you start an arena, you're going to be very happy with this. Cold Wraith is a 3-mana 3/4 with an upside, and 3-mana 3/4 is already really good. The Scalebane has a lot of value. It's effectively a 5-mana 8/5, and it's also split across 2 bodies, right? And it's really good. Of course, Frostbolt is your bread and butter mage removal card, right? So which one would you pick here? If I were to look at this set, I would start with the Cobalt Scalebane because that card is just too much value. It's a 5-mana 5/5 already, so if you play an empty board, it's fine. And then it can kind of run away the game if you can even buff 1 minion, and then your opponent can't deal with it because as a 5 health creature, it's already really strong. So it's very interesting that this new Knights of the Frozen card actually has more value than a very good 3-drop and the classic Frostbolt, which is like insane in Arena. So that would be my pick. So at the end of the day, these are all strong picks, and I'll be happy starting my Arena run with any one of these. Next set, we are playing Rogue. We already have a rare selected. We have Plague Scientist, Bone Baron, and Hiltnir Frostrider. So we have all the new cards. So let's start with the Plague Scientist. It's a 3-mana 2/3 combo. You literally give one of your minions infinite attack, right? But of course you need to trade upwards. It doesn't really get infinite attack going to your opponent's face. Still a pretty good card. Bone Baron is a lot of value. Typed into 1, 5-mana 5/5. With Death Rattle, put 2 1-mana 1/1 skeletons into your hand. They can actually help activate combos and their bodies as well. And finally, we have the 3-mana 4/4 Hiltnir Frostrider, which freezes all your other minions, but it doesn't really matter because you're playing a 3-mana 4/4 anyway, so that's also a very high pick. So which one would you pick in here? So my pick would be the Hiltnir Frostrider, because if you can play this on turn 3, it's a 4/4 and it currently contests the board really well. It kills all 2-drops, it matches up against a lot of 3-drops, and sometimes trades for a 3/4 or a 3/3 and whatnot, and you still get a body remaining, right? The other cards are great, but they do require you to have a little bit more synergy with your deck, I guess. Especially Plague Scientist, you want to curve lower so that you can turn your minions into poisonous and then trade for a big minion, or it's kind of like a Dark Iron Dwarf like that, because you're using the buff to trade upwards, right? But I think since the Hiltnir Frostrider is always going to be good and it belongs in every single arena deck, I would be choosing that one to start off my Rogue run. So the next picks we have are from a Shaman run. This is either Maelstrom Portal, Evolve, or Mana Tide Totem. Now, all these cards are once again amazing, right? Maelstrom being like a better Arcane Explosion, Evolve can make some crazy board states, and Mana Tide Totem obviously is a must deal with card because it draws your card every turn. So I'm curious which one you would pick here. The one I would pick would be Maelstrom Portal, because Maelstrom Portal is one of those AoE spells that are very important in Arena. You always want Aerific spells. And it also gives you a 1-drop. Combined with the fact that Shaman can get a spell power totem very easily from the hero power because other classes actually need to work for spell power. I think Maelstrom Portal is like above and beyond. I think picking Evolve is also fine because there are a lot of minions now that, you know, summon copies of themselves and have a lot of health. So when you trade them off, you can evolve them into something bigger. But I think for the most consistent Arena run that you want to do with the most wins, you're going to be wanting the Maelstrom Portal. Onwards to our next set. This is a Paladin draft, and we are starting off with an epic card. We can choose between Sea Giant, Faceless Shambler, and Avenging Wrath. Sea Giant being a very good minion, and of course you can even play it earlier than turn 10. Faceless Shambler can improve a board state for only a low cost of 4 mana and stabilizes your board as well because it's taunt. And of course, Avenging Wrath is your AoE slash board clear slash a lot of damage to the face. It's a spell card. So which one would you pick here? The pick I would choose is Sea Giant. Sea Giant is very powerful by its own, and there are so many board states where there's gonna be a lot of minions, right? You're not playing constructed, you're playing arena, so it's still a war between minion battles. And Sea Giant is just gonna slam the board really hard. Like the turn you play it, your opponent has to deal with an 8/8. It also synergizes with hero power, which is really nice bonus. And it also synergizes with what Paladins usually want to do, is to make a big board and then either buff them up with kings or, like Sea Giant, make a board that's over the top. Faceless Shambler is also not a bad pick because it does synergize with you know, the various buff cards Paladin has, like Spiker Steed, Blessing of Kings, and stuff like that. And of course, once again, the taunt does stabilize you. But Sea Giant is more consistent in that it's always an 8/8. Faceless Shambler does require you to have a minion already on the board. And finally, Avenging Wrath would be the worst choice out of these cards because Avenging Wrath, while it's really good, it deals 8 damage split across your opponent's board, and you can construct a board that's really good at. Usually it would not get you ahead, right? Usually when you play Avenging Wrath, if you're ahead on the board, you're still ahead. But if you're behind a board, you're still going to be behind because your opponent is going to play something on their turn first and reestablish the board. So Sea Giant would be my pick. The final first few picks for this set is a Warrior run, and this time we got really lucky. We get to choose between 3 legendary cards. We have the Lich King to choose, which is awesome. New card, taunt, give you Death Knight cards. We have the Death Knight card for Garrosh, which is Scourge Lord Garrosh. It equips you with a 4/3 Shadowborn that also cleaves the targets you attack. And of course, we have Prince Malchezaar that can add 5 legendaries to your deck at the start of the game. So, which legendary are you gonna go with? So first of all, if you picked Prince Malchezaar, you're probably like a lot of fun, but it's probably the worst choice out of these sets. Now, why is that? Because you're shuffling 5 random legendaries. Random legendaries range from being really insane to being also really bad. So if you shuffle something like Napagal or like Milhouse Manastorm, then you're not gonna have a good time. Another bad thing about Malchezaar is also it dilutes the picks in your deck, right? If you're drawing from a deck of 35 cards instead of 30 cards, then the power level of all your cards become worse. Say you have like Blood Razor or like Primordial Drake. You're actually reducing the power level of those cards because instead of those cards, you might have more of a chance to find a random legendary instead. And when I play Arena, I definitely don't want to do that. I want to draw my weapons, and I want to draw my good minions, or my removal spells, or whatever. So I think Malchezaar is definitely out of the running for being the pick here. Death Knight Garrosh and Lich King. Now that's a very cool choice, because, you know, Garrosh does something immediately. It gives you 5 armor. It equips a weapon that you can probably kill something with, right? And it also changes your hero power into a whirlwind, which means it's gonna make your opponent's plays miserable. They can never play 1/1s anymore. If they're playing Paladin, they can never hero power anymore, right? So that's awesome. But I will have to go with the Lich King here. It's an 8 mana 8/8 taunt that stabilizes the board already. So at the worst case is an Iron Bark Protector, right? Which is already a very, very decent pick in Arena. On top of that, it gives you a Death Knight card every turn. So it includes the turn that you play him. It also includes every other turn the opponent doesn't deal with it. And the Death Knight cards are insane. Like, if you look at, you know, the whole subset of Death Knight cards, there are some that just end the game immediately, right? Anti-Magic Shell, we have Frostborn, and then we have stuff that are really, really value-based, like Death Coil is really good, Army of the Dead is really good. And even the worst ones, stuff like, you know, Doom Pact maybe is bad because you already have a board and you don't want to play that, or you have Annihilate. So I would go with the Lich King here and be very, very happy and be very, very excited as well. The next 5 sets of cards are a little bit harder because we're looking at a pick that's already in the middle of drafting. So you also need to look at the deck list that we drafted already and see if we can have any synergies and, you know, any special interactions with some of our cards. And of course, we need to look at curve purposes as well. So the first one we have is the Druid. So we're in the middle of our Druid run. We're nearing the end of the draft. We have already drafted 27 cards. And now we get offered Starfall, Archer Commander, or Knife Juggler. So Starfall being the spell that's, you know, single target removal, or it can be a AoE as well. Archer Commander being like one of the most solid rare cards you can draft in the arena. It deals 4 damage and summons a 4/2 most likely. And we also have Knife Juggler, which is a 2-mana 2/2. Every time you summon a minion, you can throw a knife at their face, right? So, once again, looking at the deck list, what would you pick from this set? After looking at the deck list that we already drafted, I would go ahead and pick Archer Commander. The reasoning is because Archer Commander is, once again, very, very solid. And it's gonna win you the board. It's very reactive. It can be also proactive in that you can just play Archer Commander and go face and make a 4/2 Divine Shield that deals 4 damage to the opponent's hero, and you're gonna have a good board. But the main reason to picking Archer Commander is that the other cards are not that good right now, right? Knife Juggler does not really proc off at anything if you look at our deck list. Most of our minions are just single minions, right? We don't really summon a lot of minions, as with the case of some Druids, right? Some Druids can have like Spreading Plague or a lot of 1-drops, for example, and this deck doesn't really have that much of that. And also, we're not picking Starfall here because the 2 swipes that we already have in the deck kind of function as like premium AoEs already, right? So we really don't need a worse swipe in a sense, because Starfall is not as good a swipe, and the 5 mana deal 5 damage isn't really going to be that impressive anyways. So Archer Commander will be my choice here. Alright, number 7, we have Hunter. So we are still pretty early in our draft. We drafted 11 cards, and they happen to be all minions. We are offered Unleash the Hounds, Deadly Shot, or Dark Iron Dwarf. Unleash the Hounds being an AoE clear, and if your opponent has a lot of minions, you might even hit the enemy's hero in the face with all the hounds. You can pick between that or Deadly Shot. Deadly Shot is a premium removal, very, very good card, and it just costs 3. And of course, a premium 4-drop. So, looking over everything, which one would you choose? So my choice would be Unleash the Hounds here, because Unleash the Hounds is, because if you're in a losing position, it gets you back in the game. It basically scales with your opponent's board. And if you are ahead, it's also secretly good, because Hunter, at the end of the day, you just want to hit your opponent's face and do a lot of damage, right? So when you run out of steam, you're going to Unleash the Hounds. All the hounds go face, and then you can win the game that way, because Steady Shot is just a good win condition. And having more damage to the face will actually amplify your game plan of, you know, just going face. We will pick it over Deadly Shot because, well, at the end of the day, Deadly Shot, while it kills a big minion, it doesn't take care of these small minions. And Unleash the Hounds does that, which is really sick. And we're gonna pick over Dark Iron Dwarf as well because we already have a lot of minions. We want some utility cards right now on a arena draft with so many minions. We just want variety. So the 8th arena pick actually happened on stream for me, and I struggled with this pick for over 3 minutes, I think. I was just like thinking about it, because all these 3 cards were insane, right? So we are in the middle of the draft with 18 cards. You see that we drafted insanely well, right? There's like Meteors and Flame Strike and Blizzard, there's Elise. Not a lot of early game yet, but this is the pick, right? So we have Twilight Flamecaller, you know, 3 mana to deal 1 damage to everything. That's insane. Tar Creeper, arguably one of the more insane 3 mana neutral cards out there. And we also have Flame Geyser, a very good play on turn 2 because usually you can hit a 2-2 or 3-2 with it. And also very relevant because it is an elemental. As we can see, we have some elemental synergy in the deck. So, which one would you pick here? So I think in my arena run during the stream, I picked Tar Creeper because Tar Creeper, it just performs so well as a 3-drop, right? You just play it and then you mostly stabilize on the board. It also protects high quality minions such as Steam Surger and Vulcanosaur, taunts your opponents have to deal with, and yeah, you just don't even need to trade with Tar Creeper as well. I can see an argument being Flame Geyser because at the end of the day, in this deck, there's not a lot of interaction in the first few turns, and you could get run over by certain 2-drops that are really, really good. So stuff like Pint-Sized Summoner, you know, and even like Flappy Bird, which is what I call Vicious Fledgling, right? Flame Geyser could actually deal with that in turn 4, which is usually the turn after Vicious Fledgling is played. So yeah, I'm okay with both Tar Creeper and Flame Geyser. That's definitely what I lean towards. And I think I would still pick the Tar Creeper at the end of the day because it's just one of the most solid 3-drops. And if I'm going to be playing a Mage deck that has so many AoE clears, I just want my early game to be safe and to stabilize as soon as possible. Alright, 2 more to go. We have the Shaman draft next. So as you can see, the Shaman draft here was really, really good. I mean, you have a Flame Tongue, you have Serenade Chain Gang, you have Volcano, and a Primordial Drake. Yeah, this is like just an insane start to the Shaman draft, right? So let's add some more insaneness to it because our next picks are between Tidal Surge, a 4 mana deal for restore 4 health to yourself. It's pretty much a better Holy Fire. We also have a Lightning Bolt to choose from. And we also have a Tar Creeper once again, an amazing 3-drop that's also an elemental. But a nice thing to know about Lightning Bolt is that we also have 2 unbound elementals. So which one would you pick here? So my pick here would be once again Tar Creeper because it's once again one of those picks that just stabilize the board immediately, right? Lightning Bolt is pretty cute in that it does buff up your unbound elementals into 3/5s and it also deals 3 damage, which is a very relevant effect. But I feel like that Tar Creeper is just gonna help out your board so much, including with Evolve, such that you can actually put out those strategies. And at the end of the day, Tar Creeper is kind of like a Lightning Bolt on the body, right? It has 3 attack on your opponent's turn, and they have to deal with it, right? So it's like a recursive threat, and Lightning Bolt is like a one-time use, and it also has Overload, so it might make things a little bit more tricky. And I think at the end of the day, it is a 2-mana spell that deals 3 damage, which is kind of replaceable in this deck, because being an Evolve deck, having a Flame Tongue Totem as well, you just want as many resilient minions as possible, and Tar Creeper fits that bill perfectly. And lastly, we have a very spicy one. We have a Kazakus deck in the making, along with some insane cards like Elise. There's already a Potion of Madness and a Powered Shield. Not a lot of 2-drops, which is the only bad thing. But we also have some Dragon synergy with Dragon Operative. Like, this deck is looking to be really, really cool. Yeah, Dragon Operative, and there's a Bone Drake, and there's a lot of cool stuff. So, the pick here is between Potion of Madness, Darkshire Alchemist, and a Loot Hoarder. Potion of Madness we already have 1 copy of, so it might make your Kazakus really bad, but, you know, it's still a Potion of Madness, which is a pretty good card. There is a Darkshire Alchemist, which is another 5-drop. While we already have a lot of 5-drops, it still has a very relevant battle cry. And finally, we have a Loot Hoarder. You know, a 2-drop body that's pretty low on the health side, but it draws you a card, so it has a little bit of utility. So which one would you pick here? So my pick would actually be Potion of Madness. Even though you turn off your Kazakus synergy, Potion of Madness is one of those cards that just wins you the game in Arena, right? It's just so much value. This card's effect, it shouldn't be 1 mana, right? I mean, Shadow Madness is a 4 mana card, which is just attack 3 or less, right? Potion of Madness gains you back tempo. It also buys you a lot of value trades, especially in Arena now, because there's so many cards that, you know, when they die, they draw your cards, such as like, you know, Oracle, such as like Loot Hoarder. There's also the Igneous Elemental, which can be Potion of Madness, which is really, really strong. There's just so many targets of Potion of Madness, right? One of the things I say on my stream a lot is that for every Potion of Madness you draft in your deck, you get 6 wins. So 2, you obviously get 12 wins, right? Yeah, that card is just that insane. So I am okay with taking the risk of sometimes not casting my Kazakus for a Potion of Madness. And that's going to be great. I think the second choice would be the Loot Hoarder, because at the end of the day, we do need 2 drops. And, you know, it's just something you can just play on the board. It replaces itself. And the big thing about Loot Hoarder is that it draws you to your legendaries much faster, right? If you're gonna draft a deck of Kazakus and the Least and stuff like that, you want to, you know, search for your deck really, really quickly. So Loot Hoarder is the one to do it. But I would not give up a Potion of Madness for Loot Hoarder. So those were my arena picks. How many picks did you do that were the same as mine? And did you agree with my analysis of the picks? Let me know. You can comment down below. You can also check out my stream for more arena picks, and you can also check out Pro Guides for, you know, more knowledge on Hearthstone and Arena and Constructed. There's a lot of cool decks there, and yeah, may all your arena wins be 12. May you draft great, and may you watch a lot of Amaz. All right, see ya.